Joining us now from New York is Rabbi Yisrael David Wais, spokesperson for Neutral Carta International. Hello, Rabbi. Pleasure to have you on the program here to get your take on this. It's a sensitive issue. Some call it the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, third holiest site in Islam. The Temple Mount for the Jewish people, I believe, the holiest site for Jews. Tell me the significance of this site and what these rabbis are talking about by calling Ben Gvir and over 3,000 settlers that accompanied him yesterday thugs dressed in religious garb.
The Almighty, I pray to the Almighty to bestow upon me His truth, His wisdom, that I may be worthy of conveying His message and so sanctify His name. Amen. Listen, this the holy site is something which we believe that we know that the temple 2,000 years ago stood on this holy site. Yet it is clear, and all the Jews around the world, as the advent of Zionism, well before they came along and decided to create the state of Israel, when the movements were still in Europe in the 1920s and the 1910s and on, the Jewish rabbis stated unambiguously, clearly, that these are a bunch of heretics. They're not obeying the Torah. They're masquerading in the Star of David, in the name Israel. Jewish people are in exile, decreed by God with the destruction of the temple, and we are not permitted. It is considered haram, what the Arab people say haram, that is, we will be cut off from God if we attempt to go into the area beyond the Wailing Wall, beyond the Western Wall, into that area, that compound. We do not go there. This was well before even Islam, the religion of Islam, was created. Jewish people are forbidden to go into that compound. This is the laws of Judaism. So then, and there was no police or anybody to stop us from going there. Then Zionism comes along, they create a state where all the rabbis said, wait a second, you guys are falsifying Judaism. We are not permitted to have a Jewish sovereignty, a Jewish state, and we are not permitted to kill or to steal and to have a state. So the Zionists, of course, they are heretics. They are a nationalist movement. They are not religion, Judaism of the religion 3,000 years. This is a nationalist concept. It's a nationalism. And they stood and they ignored, they laughed at the rabbis, and they made the Zionist state of Israel. Not only they laughed, but they constantly brutally beating the Jews who are standing in opposition. They're constantly, from day one, they beat, they arrest, you have picture on picture of how they're, the manhandling of. So this is nothing that's something new to us, that they're going to come along and these heretics who are non-believers, and they come and they made a state. They're not covering their heads. They create a state, and of course they call it Judaism. They call it the state of Israel, and then they go up to the Temple Mount and they don't care that it's considered one of the worst sins against God. Now you quoted, of course, that even amongst the Zionist state of Israel, their leaders of that rebellion against God, the state of Israel, they have their farce, their rabbinate and their rabbis, and even they decided that this is not good for them. And the ones who went up on the Temple Mount did something that's too drastic and something that's wrong. So they said it's unacceptable according to Judaism. But I don't get moved at all. But why? What these rabbis say, because their support and their acknowledgement, their recognition of the Zionist state of Israel is also unacceptable, is also a rebellion against God. So I don't need them to tell us that going up on the Temple Mount is a sin. They should close down the state of Israel, and then we won't have all these problems of people going up on the Temple Mount. The state of Israel is the responsibility of the blood and death and bloodshed of so many Palestinian people and of Jews who oppose them. They are the rebellion against God that gives birth to these people who go up on the Temple Mount. So it's all one terrible nakba, one terrible calamity, one terrible horrendous genocide and satanic calamity that we're witnessing, and that we as Jews who are true to the Torah around the world in the tens of thousands, we stand up and we go to demonstrations in Washington, D.C., we go to demonstrations in front of the United Nations, in front of Congress, and in the streets of Jerusalem, pleading with the world leaders that they should listen to us. Listen, it's in Jerusalem, or it's or in front of the White House, or it's in front of Congress, pleading with the world that they should stop supporting this evil, this satanic murder and killing of people, of the innocent people of Palestine. It's unacceptable. It's not Judaism. Again, we don't need support of the rabbis who are justifying the existence of the state of Israel to tell us that this is criminal. It's criminal together with the whole state of Israel.
And Rabbi, two people in this, in Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet, in particular, Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, time and again, they make very xenophobic and racist remarks and comments about the Palestinians. They take actions to either provoke the Palestinians or to add to their suffering there. Where does this hate and disdain come from, Rabbi?
We can only think that it comes from the Satan. It's a satanic thing, because if it's Judaism, it's not. That I can tell you. And all these people, I can even see, if anybody would take the time, the effort, they would see that invariably the very religious communities around the world don't even dress like these guys. Their whole religion comes from a misconstrued and a twisted Judaism that was created by what they call Mizrahi people who conflated and confused and incorporated the religion of Judaism, this holy religion of 3,000 years, into the Zionist nationalism. But it's not the religion that tells us that we have to be subservient to God and that we're forbidden to make a state. So it's really a satanic, it's an evil creation of Theodor Herzl, of all these Zionists that the rabbis stood in opposition to. Now, so you'll see in the pictures that you're showing people who are going with earlocks, they're going with beards, but anybody who takes the effort, they'll see that the seriously religious communities do not accept these people, and they say that this is false. This is a misguided, what they call modern religious, which is a euphemism for a compromised religion. It's not Judaism. It's twisting Judaism out of godliness, of what it really is. So it doesn't mean anything. It's the Satan always tries to put the affront of holiness. You'll never find somebody who kills or sins or does other crimes and will think that he's wrong. He thinks that he's doing a good deed when he does a crime, a criminal. This is what Satan does. He colors, he twists that people think they're doing a good deed, and that's what these people are doing. They are misled by their leaders, by their rabbis, but it's totally criminal. There is no question it's criminal, and we as Jews are crying and hurting with the people of Palestine around the world, in the streets of Jerusalem. The very religious community is being beaten, and because they're standing up and they're saying that Ben-Gvir, Smotrich, Netanyahu, and even the rabbis in their rabbinate, that it's evil. They are evil. It's evil. They have twisted the Torah. They have no right to represent the Torah or Judaism. Not my parents and my grandparents who were killed in Auschwitz. These were ones who stayed into the Torah. We never accept this twisted version of Judaism. Zionism is a twisted version of Judaism. It's not Judaism. Just because they put something on their head, or they portray themselves with tzitzis, with a Jewish garb a little bit, it's ridiculous. and it's ugly, and it's clearly in defiance and contradictory to the Torah. As we put out books, the rabbis speak out, all the books of all the major rabbis around the world, of the Jewish communities, 130 years already and more, who stood up and said Zionism is corrupt, Zionism is critical, contradictory to Judaism and to the Torah. So what could we say? Just because they put on a yarmulke, I'm sure you'll find in other religions, people falsify their religion. This is nothing new. It's just our heart bleeds, our heart cries with the people of Palestine. And that is why day and night we are pleading with the leaders of the world not to be intimidated. It is not anti-Semitic to stand up in opposition to the occupation and the murder in Gaza and the occupation of Palestine. Zionists are a personification of anti-Semitism. They cause hate of Jews, and they make cheap the word anti-Semitic. My grandparents died because they were Jews. These people are making cheap the word anti-Semitic because they commit crimes, and then they say you're anti-Semitic if you oppose them.
Rabbi,
They kill and murder people in the name of Judaism. They're making hate of Jews. They are anti-Semitism personified.
Thank you, Rabbi.